Hi, everybody. Right, up next, we have Jake Hunsbusher, aka Warlock and Key. This fine young man is the chap behind Grelf token. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me, Jake. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So can you tell us a little bit about Grelf token? I would argue it's probably the most popular. Is that fair to say on Hedera at the moment
It's
as a
currently
HTS
number
token?
one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Meme coin
Okay.
wise.
Yes, yeah, and can you give us a little bit of the about the background, sort of how it came to be, what the thinking was behind it? I mean, he is a weird looking chap.
He's not good looking. I think we can say that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So the character came before the token. I was trying to. I have a NFT project called Cretes. I was trying to make a new video, and I had my Warlock persona. It's basically like me with a hoodie with the hood up. Um, and I do a weird voice for him because I do a lot of voice acting. You might know me as I'm the voice of the Saucer Swap tutorials, for example.
Hello, friends. This video marks the first in a series that covers the key actions you will need to learn for the upcoming Saucer Swap V2 protocol.
And I was getting bored with those videos, and I was like, okay, like let me make a new character for this. And I just thought it'd be funny to just have the worst spokesman possible. If I could just make the most. If someone was trying to sell me something in that voice, what would that voice be if I just wanted to run the other direction? And I was in the shower when I came up with it, and I almost slipped because I just started laughing so hard.
It's just awful. If somebody was trying to sell you a car and they sounded like this, you probably would not buy it.
So I came with the voice first. It's like I'm going to use it for this video, and I was like, oh, I don't want to just video myself. I've already done that for the Warlock videos. I can't really do that. So Dolly 2 just came out, and I was just searching on there, and the prompt was gross, ugly, balding man. And I got one I looked like that I liked, and I just kept hitting like make variation, make variation. And eventually I got this guy. And something about him just I have dreams about this guy. Something just took me.
I'm so sorry.
I couldn't drop it. So I put in that video. He didn't even have a name at that point. And just something about him, I just had to keep making more. I named him. His name's Gerbert the Grelf. I started coming up with the backstory and like writing like stuff about him. Just something about him. I just couldn't put him down. And then so that was August 2nd that he was created. August 30th is when I made the token in 2022. So been around for a while. And I just thought it would be hilarious if somebody looked in their wallet and saw that dumb face. There weren't really meme coins around at that time. Certainly none that were actually really making any money or had any money invested in them. It was purely a joke. And it was pretty much dead for about 6 months. Because I couldn't get listed on Saucer Swap. There was some kind of issue. It was really early on. The DEX had only launched like maybe a month previous to the creation of Grelf. And so I eventually got listed. And as soon as I did, like it started to take off. And that was about a little over a year ago. And then it massively dumped, as meme coins do, and now it's starting to pump again. It passed its previous all-time high, so things are going well. But you know, you're not going to get any investment advice from me. Number one, whenever I buy meme coins, they either rug or they go down. So I'm not a good investor. And two, the meme coin ride is not for the faint of heart. You know, that's a big roller coaster. So,
Yeah,
you know, take that in mind,
absolutely.
folks.
Okay, so we'll bear that in mind with anything you say. So my dad's probably going to watch this, and he's going to be thinking, "What the hell are you talking about? This sounds mental." So I want people to understand how this might sound crazy and a joke, and I think it's fantastic because it's artistic, and you've given this character life, and you've generated this image through AI. So it's got the tech element to it and everything else. And I'm just looking at your fully diluted valuation, and today it's £2.685 million. So that's what, $3.3 million or something. The 24-hour trading volume is £38,988. It's as good as £40,000 has been bought and sold in the last 24 hours. So this really, it has taken off. Why did you choose the total supply of 6,666,666?
Because I thought it would be funny.
Okay, that's good enough answer. I mean, it's a very low supply, isn't it? So in the HTS token ecosystem, there generally is two, in my opinion anyway, there are two sort of variations. There are businesses, real businesses, that have a token, and the token may or may not facilitate something with the business, but it's comparable to like a stock or a share in a company in Web2, in a real world. And then there are meme tokens that are just fun, speculative, things to have a bit of a laugh. It's a casino floor. Do you agree with that? And if so, where do you think you sit? Or do you think you sit halfway in between? Is there any utility with your token?
No, I'm completely on the far end. That's a fair assessment. It's a joke. It was started as a joke. A lot of meme coins have very high supply. That's the meta. But again, I was not making it with any knowledge or intention, or I was not considering the tokenomics or how it would appear. I just thought it'd be funny. That was it. It has no utility. I don't plan to have any utility. I don't really want any utility. In my opinion, when a meme coin starts introducing utility, it kind of feels like they're starting that slide into, misrepresentation, right? If you wanted a utility project, make a utility project. Adding on utility to a meme coin, to me, a lot of that utility is not actual utility. It's buy this NFT, get into this ecosystem. You'll get a certain amount of tokens, but less than how much you paid for the NFT, which will recycle that money. It's just the whole thing. And I don't really support that. I just want Grelf to be funny. I want to make funny memes. When Grelf wasn't doing well, I kept making funny memes because I think he's funny. So no utility for Grelf. It's not happening.
Okay. Well, do you know what? I really appreciate your honesty, and you're a rarity, because there aren't many people. And I don't think it's dishonesty necessarily. I think we're very early in this industry, and I think there's some naivety. I think that people truly believe that they can deliver certain types of utility over a longer period of time than they probably can. I think people lose interest, get bored. Some people just start out with bad intentions, that's for sure. But I think there's a whole spectrum of different types of rugs and failures. So the fact that you've come out of the gate saying, look, I do this because I love it. I think it's funny. I'm not promising anyone anything. If you want to come on the journey, great. And if you don't, no worries. I think that's really refreshing. But I also think that it's really interesting that you're willing to put your name to it at the same time. So you admit it's a joke, but it's a joke, and you take ownership of, which I think people will find endearing, because there's one of my bugbears, as a lot of people know, is we were discussing before we started speaking on camera. One of my bugbears with Web3 was that the whole thing was supposed to be peer-to-peer, transparent, and actually, I'm one of the few people on X, on Galaxy, that my profile picture is me. It's not a PFP, and my name is my name. People know who I am. Like, I'm the only guy in the room who fell for the complete transparency peer-to-peer thing. I turned up to the party and everybody else is wearing a mask. So we've gone from having a few faceless corporations to having thousands of tiny faceless corporations. But it's refreshing to see somebody else of the same vein. That's really nice to see. Where do you see Grelf in a year's time, 2 years' time? Like, what's the dream? I know you're not taking it seriously, and I know there is no utility, but do you hope to see Grelf on t-shirts walking down the main street, or do you have any aspirations?
I have a secret dream. I'll let you know my secret dream. My secret dream is that Grelf gets big enough that I can basically fund a creative studio. I have a very creative background. I have a master's in fine arts in theater. I do a lot of creative stuff. And one thing that's super refreshing about Web3 that I've noticed is it's so much easier to get people to see your work, right? If you make something creative, if you make something funny, if you write something. I have a few published plays, for instance, and theater in America is tough. It's you've got Broadway and everything right, but if you're just a guy, it's really hard to get your work out there, get your work seen, get your work produced. And in Web3, it's just so much easier to connect with a community. If you just sort of relate it to a certain cryptocurrency people are already interested in, they're very welcoming and open to, embrace you and what you're doing that's interesting. My experience with Grelf has just been, I mean, it's been a godsend for having creative outlet and getting an audience for people to enjoy it. So it's really just as far as I can push that. That's the dream. I have a small merch site. I'm working on making more t-shirts, but yeah, I mean, seeing Grelf's ugly face on a bus would just be the funniest thing in the world to me, because he is the opposite of any other mascot you would see. He's not cool. He's not cute. He's just, he would
Not PC either, is he? He's quite rude. So
he's a rude boy.
he's the anti-hero, isn't he? He's
the anti-mascot. So it's just, any kind of way I can extend that creatively is very funny to me because he just doesn't fit.
Well, I truly hope, having the pleasure of meeting you, I truly hope that this does lead to you to bigger things for you personally and for your projects, because you seem like a genuine, sincere guy. So I really hope that happens for you. Where do you see? Do you think you're currently sitting at? Well, Grelf is currently sitting at 40 pence. So I don't know what that is in cents, like 55 cents, something like that, somewhere around there.
It's like 50. It's like 50.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a new all-time high for Grelf. Do you think that represents fair value, or do you think it should be double that or half that? Where's fair value?
That's a hard question to answer. Fair value. The heights that it has reached have been completely unexpected. It was like 2 to 3 cents a few months ago, and I was like, man, if we can get to 7 cents, that'd be great. Didn't think this was going to happen. Probably the most blown away I have ever been is when it finally reached 1 cent. Everything past that, I have no frame of reference anymore. I'm just like, okay. Honestly, it stresses me out. It hits the all-time high now was 65 cents. And when it hit that, I was just really stressed. I was like, all right, people are going to expect things. What goes up must come down. How far is it going to go down? Honestly, compared to last little cycle, this has not been as crazy. I mean, you can look at the chart. It's just like, so we at least have some support levels now. That's probably because I've continued to add liquidity to the pool. When previously I was just like, I mean, I put like about $10,000 of my own money in. A lot of people thought that was really stupid. I think it was stupid. It worked out.
Yeah, just because it worked out, it doesn't mean it wasn't stupid.
Yeah, it was not smart. I'll tell you that, but it did work out. So yeah, I have no idea what the fair value is.
Are your family and friends aware of this? Do they think you're nuts? Is this like a big dirty secret you have, or is this something they're involved with?
They're very aware of it because I won't shut up about it. My mom has no idea what any of this stuff means. She's just is like, is your Gerbert token doing good? Well, me and her both Southern. My friends previously, I would show them, what he looks like. And I still get this reaction now where they're like, oh God, take it away immediately. I think one lady was like, nightmares was like her first reaction. Now, after a year of exposure therapy, a lot of people like him. They're like, oh, he just kind of seems sweet. Really? I mean, yes. I don't know how, but it's just, I guess eventually they start like attributing positive traits to him over time.
Do they get the money side of it? Do they understand that this is a real thing now?
Some do. Some understand because I talk about it and try to explain it. Other people are like, so you made ugly bald man token and
people buy it?
People buy it? Is it like
an
online store? Yeah, why do people buy it? Because maybe the number will go up, or because they think it's funny. I mean, he blinks in your hash pack now, so that is that
That's
utility?
something. So you said there was no utility. Come on, Jake. You're now offering
I'm
utility.
sorry.
He's blinking in the hashback wallet. Okay, so I really, really appreciate your time, and I think the project's fantastic. And I love, to be fair, I love the honesty and the transparency. You're so upfront about it. Like, I promise you nothing. You can't choose your own token. You can do them in order if you want to, but you don't have to. Top three HTS tokens that you love. What are your top three picks? You can't choose your own.
Well, of course. I'm not.
Somebody else, I can't remember who, but somebody picked all three as themselves.
Yeah, that's something we see a lot, and I do not like that. A lot of people are like, "Oh, give us a shout out," and I try to shout out other projects I like. Number one, Sauce. That's easy. Saucer Swap has been very good to me. Has been very good to Grelf. Give me a lot of support. So number one, Sauce. That's probably the one I hold the most of is Sauce. Let's see. Number two has not released yet, but I'm really excited about it, which is the Hashpack token pack. Because again, Hashpack's been very good to me. I know a lot of those guys. They're great guys. Number three. There's a lot of competing ones. I mean, I also have had a good relationship with Dovu, with Matt Smithies. I did some tutorial videos from him as well. It's been really interesting seeing their journey, because they also converted their token from Dove to Dovu, and that was a really interesting process. And
Ethereum to Hedera, yeah.
Well, and then again.
Yeah,
because they completely made a new one on HTS, with a different supply and everything, and just seeing them, they try so many different things. They're always trying to get in on everything Hedera is doing. So I would say those are my top three.
Okay, thank you. Just last question, because you just touched on Source of Swap and how you said the team there has been really good and really supportive for you. What's that journey? If anybody watching this at home is thinking, I want to create a token, I want to create a project for whatever reason, what would you kind of what's your advice to them to do that?
My advice, technically, it's so much easier now. If you want to make a token, just go into the Hashback wallet, go to advanced settings, token creator. It'll take you 5 seconds. It's cheap, fast, just do it. You want it on Saucer Swap, go to Saucer Swap. It's like $50 worth of HBAR to make an LP. You're done. Longevity wise, if you're making a meme token, which is something I can give you a little advice on, focus on the memes. Is your token funny? Do you care about it? Because if you don't care about it, why would you expect other people to? Just in general, if you're not going to put effort into it, if you're not going to continue to support it with at least something, it's like, oh, meme coins, or it's money out of thin air. I put way more work into Grelf than you might assume. And if you're not willing to put any work into something, you're really just going to expect people to just throw you money for free. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Make it funny, make it fun, engage your community. If it goes badly, don't disappear. It's gone badly for me several times. You just keep going. Were you only in it for when the number went up? Because if that's the only thing that you care about, it's really not for you, because they're not just going to go up forever. They're extremely volatile asset. And if it's just about the money for you, you're not going to enjoy yourself, and there's really not much point.
No, because you're not gonna. It's that longevity, isn't it? It's that sticking at it when it's dark and cold and lonely and nobody wants to pay you any attention. I think you said funny a couple of times there, but I don't think that's the only thing. I mean, you could be a load of different things, couldn't you? Or am I wrong? Does it have to be funny, or could it be dark, or could it be charity narrative? Does it have to be funny, or is funny your go-to?
I mean, funny's my go-to, because it's like, how are you going to get a good reaction? That's how are you going to catch attention, right? Humor is an easy way. It can be dark. It's hard to produce content for stuff like that. humor's a very wide spectrum. You can do other stuff. I've seen people try to kind of do another spin on things. They don't typically last very long because there's a certain point where you kind of just run out if you put yourself in kind of a limited space. Where humor, you can go anywhere. Maybe today I'll make Grelf into a duck. It's like it's the sky's the limit on what people can find funny or find enjoyable. But if you limit it to certain things, charity stuff, I don't consider even a meme coin, honestly. If you're legitimately trying to support a charity and saying like, yeah, this token may be, not a great speculative asset for you, but we're supporting a charity, that to me, that's a whole different bag. And completely valid. It doesn't always have to be funny. A lot of people do the cool angle. But at the end of the day, they still make lots of jokes because, memes are in a base level about comedy, but it's not exclusive. But yeah, that's my go-to.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jake. Just on, I know you mentioned earlier about t-shirts and merchandise. Where can people go if they want to get involved with that?
Well, you can check the website, which is grelf.me, grelf.me. If you specifically want to see the merch, it's creetshop.myshopify.com. So CREET.
That's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll put a link in the description below. So I'll save Jake trying to spell it out, and I'll save you guys trying to remember it. I'll put a link in the description below with all the other links of all the other different projects that are on this sort of mega video. And if you're interested in seeing that, then you can do that. I don't know why you'd want to buy one of those t-shirts. No offense, Grelf. But if you do, then go nuts. Jake, Warlock and Key, thank you so much for your time. I love your work in the community. I think you're a really solid chap and a good egg. So thank you so much. And I'm glad you've had the success you've had because you truly deserve it. And I hope that this leads to even bigger things for you, both in Web 2 and in Web 3. So thank you so much for your time.
And thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.